Hello everyone, this is Core and we're back with something brand new on the channel. We'll be covering some lore and analysis on an old survival horror game called Extermination. More importantly, we'll be doing an in-depth look at the bacteria and the events of the outbreak, along with the monsters. And before we get started, I'd like to give a shout out to Shadowleggy for the great artwork for this video. HO213, a strain of bacteria that arrived on Earth from space, highly contagious and spreads in two primary means. Carrier bugs which seek out and attack humans and other animals and sprays them with a caustic liquid, and the waterborne contamination. Both drinking contaminated water or being attacked by pools of water which have high enough levels of bacteria that causes it to spring to life is enough to spread the infection. Repeat exposures to either method of infection will speed up the rate it attacks and mutates the body. If you let it get to the final stages, a growth will erupt from your body and you'll be on a race against the clock to reach the nearest treatment station as your body starts to be damaged, until you eventually keel over and most likely mutate into another one of the monsters roaming the facility. Luckily for the few survivors left within the facility, there is a vaccination that, if administered before you mutate, will reverse all of the infection and cure you. But be warned that this is just a treatment. Like running an antivirus on your computer, it will get rid of the infection, but if you're not careful, you can get infected again. And another thing of note is the vaccines are in a limited quantity. The facility went to chaos before enough could be produced for everyone. Booster shots will also provide a boost to your immune system, helping to fight the infection, but only if it's not at its most severe stage. If that is reached, only the vaccine will save you, poor soul. Taking place in Fort Stewart, a remote fort located in the Antarctic, the outbreak begins with the escape of several test subjects accidentally released. But in reality, it was to test the efficiency of the bacteria as a weapon. Over the period of a few weeks, more and more of the facility began to be infected, starting in one sector and eventually spreading to include the entirety of the sprawling compound. You can observe this growth yourself as you revisit older segments, only to find them highly infested with stronger enemies and a fleshy substance coating most surfaces. Eventually, security and the science team started to attempt to quarantine areas, locking down parts of the facility, though mostly in a vain effort, as that may slow down the larger mutations. The smaller bugs and such got around the entire facility, navigating the vent systems, as well as seeping into the various water supplies throughout the fort. Earlier mutations also started to essentially nest and grow in areas with high water concentrations, as consuming more of the infection caused them to grow faster, larger, and stronger. The infected are various species of creatures that, once exposed to the bacteria, began to mutate rapidly, growing larger, faster, stronger, and developing different abilities based upon where they are. Don't think that just because you manage to dodge the enemies a few times, you'll be doing fine, because as you come back later, the infected will essentially mutate into a stronger version of the previous. A more armored doggo, a more infectious bug, a hardier snow beast, even more guns absorbed into their flesh. But don't despair, because all infected have a weakness, a glowing green or orange orb, sometimes several, that when damaged enough will cause massive damage to the infected, or outright killing them in the case of the smaller creatures. The bugs are the earliest encountered creature and the initial cause of the infection. Fast, agile, and hard to hit, these little shits show up in large swarms just waiting to shoot globs of infection, or to kamikaze you for a large burst of infection. They have also been shown to form hive-like structures that can basically vomit forth an unending stream of bugs until destroyed. They also tend to rely upon ambush tactics, slithering around in vents and attacking when people's guard is down. The dog form of infected is exactly what it sounds like. An infected dog, which is highly aggressive, fast, and agile, even going as far as jumping on the boxes in an attempt to savage any personnel hiding up there. Or if you happen to be too far out of range for melee, don't get your hopes up, because this pus-filled pooch can rear up on its hind legs and fire an infection glob as well from its chest. That's right, this doggo is packing heat. A small boon is these creatures, if they haven't noticed you, will sometimes be laying down like dogs when you enter an area. Next up to bat, pun definitely intended, is the infected bat form. A surefire sign that they are in the area is their trademark squeaking. These flying fuckboys will spend a lot of time harassing you while you attempt to traverse ladders and ledges in the water treatment plant. Then comes one of the more annoying forms. What appears to be either a turret that has been infested with the living flesh, or a similar form built entirely out of flesh that tends to guard highly infested areas, firing dangerous infection balls. Easy to kill, but can cause trouble in a large fight, as they take shots at you while you deal with the larger, more dangerous foes. Flashing in next is what I like to refer to as the snow beast. A large lion or big cat-like beast, it is found entirely within snowy blizzard conditions, where it puts its abilities to great use. Not only is this creature already hard to see due to the harsh weather, but this creature can also turn invisible and ambush its prey when they least expect it. The only way to get a beat on the creature is either aim for a faint shimmer or wait for it to uncloak and ambush it back.
Red light, do you read? Red light! Damn it! Somebody answer!
This is Dennis. What's going on?
Sergeant Riley, this is Taylor. We need help now. I'm with survivors, but we're surrounded by the creatures.
Taylor, where are you?
We're in Tunnel Area B, the area that leads to the research labs. It's near the door in the water filtration plant.
Taylor!
Now we arrive to the human infected forms, composed entirely of the scientist, security force, and your marine squad that didn't fare so well upon entry. These are some of the most diverse and dangerous forms yet. They could get massive, absolutely towering over Dennis, armed with both dangerous claws and tentacles, and their firearms which they had equipped on them when they turned, now absorbed into their flesh and firing wildly at anything that hasn't succumbed yet. Some forms even having grenades and rocket launchers of their own, making them truly dangerous creatures and a top priority in any engagement. The Executioner, or as I like to call him, the Railguard, is a highly dangerous, unique form of infected that appears to spring from an infected marine and, like my nickname implies, guards the railcar area, including the key needed to progress. While latched into place in one of the highly infected areas, don't take his lack of mobility as a weakness, because he has a very dangerous arena that once you're trapped in is highly to his advantage, including flesh traps on the floor that both slow you down and can attack with sharp bone barbs, and he can hit quickly across his entire arena, while also oftentimes guarding his weak point effectively, requiring you to bait him to one side so you can quickly get to the other side and hit it from an exposed angle. Roger is another special infected that is unique in the fact that his upper torso and face is mostly intact, and is capable of both recalling who you are and saying your name.
Dennis.
But alas, he is not able to control his massive mutated form, which attacks in a rage. Equipped with multiple rockets and grenade launchers, and in a small arena, he can be one dangerous fight. If drawn into close combat, he will use the special knife that he and Dennis both have, which is fused to his other hand in an attempt to slash you.
So what is that thing?
It's a stray lamb. It drifted through space and came to our planet 60,000 years ago.
The final form of infected comes flopping in as the final encounter. The wretched fusion of Dr. Falcon and his son. The meteor in which his entire infection springs from. The hive mind, if you will. He takes 3 forms. A large fish-like monster which chases the escape craft, while also launching pods of infection and bugs upon your head. The second form is a large, lumbering monster which crushes its way onto the back of your ship and attacks you head on. And the final form is a green, glowing doppelganger of Dennis, armed with a rifle and all, that desperately attempts to kill you, throwing everything it has left at you. If you made it this far, I want to thank you for watching this entire video. I hope you like this new video format. I've wanted to try something new, and I noticed there's not a single lore or analysis type video of Extermination on YouTube outside of reviews, and I felt it deserved some goddamn love after all this time. Plus, hopefully, it also helps people understand some parts of the game, or helps make their runs easier with some of the information provided. This has been Core955, and I'd like to thank Shadowleggy for the great artwork for this video. Check her work out below, and I'm signing off. Let me know what you think down below. Peace out.